I was talking about memories as far as being a traveling psychic. And I was saying that the psychic fairs were like a psychic academia. You would have somebody reading flowers in front of you, and behind you, somebody's reading tarot cards, and to your right is a crystal ball reader, and tea leaves, and rune stones, and an astrologer, and a handwriting person, and I wound up doing a combination of a lot of things. I did palmistry, I did regular cards, I did tarot cards, I did numerology, I did astronumerology, I did the abracadabra, I did analysis, and so on and so forth. So on one of my table sheets, it said that I did a combination reading of various things. And these old ladies used to come to me and they would hand me their comb because the sign said COMB period reading. So they thought it was a comb reading. And it took me a long time to figure out why they were trying to hand me their comb. I couldn't understand why this happened. And this is what an unusual field the psychic field was. And I had told the story on one of my videos about when I did a psychic fair at Long Island and the water witch was there, and how I didn't know what a water witch was, and I started doing a demonstration for her where I held these dowsing rods in my hand and I walked this long carpet, and underneath one of the carpets he had this piece of wire and how the dowsing rods turned in my hand. And I asked him how much he charged when he did dowsing, and he said it depended on the car in the driveway. At that time, it was like 40 years ago, whatever, and they mostly had Cadillacs, Lincolns, and the only foreign cars were like Volkswagen Bugs, the Beetles. And he said it depended on the car in the driveway. If it was a Volkswagen, it would go cheaper. If it was a Cadillac or Lincoln, it would go more, depending on the car in the driveway. And also with the various psychics, they did psychometry, which is like holding an object and closing their eyes, whatever, and telling them the vibes they got from the object. And I always said that when somebody did palmistry, by holding someone's hand, it was also a form of psychometry. And then there was some mediums. They did past life readings, and each had their own specialty. And I was a person that had numerous things that I did, so I gave people a lot of reasons to come to me. And I remember I was doing a show at Bergen Mall, and it was around 1980 or 81. And they wanted to put me on the news on TV. And the only way they would put me on the news was they said I had to wear a turban. And I said I didn't wear a turban. Uh, and they insisted, and people that ran the show asked me if I would do it. It would help business, and they have a lot of people out there, and they have to make a living. So I agreed to do it. They wanted me to interview with the reporters because I sounded like I knew what I was doing, and I was articulate, and some of the people not so much. They weren't really good at explaining things. It seemed like they lived in La La Land. Some people are so psychic in a way that they stop becoming grounded in this world. It's almost like they're almost in a different world. And I was always a grounded person, even though I was very psychic. I had no problems getting into an altered state of consciousness. And throughout the years, I stopped traveling in 1992. I got remarried, and I stopped traveling, and I was grounded. And I started working at hospitals and other jobs. But throughout my life, I always helped people with the psychic work. And I wound up teaching at Rowan College locally in South Jersey. And I taught courses in psychic development. And I developed my own methods throughout the years, and I've done thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and I always help people out when I can. And what you have to do is to keep a good attitude. Everybody should use whatever skills they have to help people and not to lord it over them and not to belittle them, but to genuinely try to help somebody so that when you're done with them, they feel better about themselves and not worse. And you don't become part of the problem, you become part of the cure.